share and express my views with all of you on such a great platform. And I would like to share my screen. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying this. Over to you.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, good afternoon, everyone. And my topic is a blended philosophy of Indian idealism and Western humanism, that is, creative humanism. Actually, with this paper, I am presenting a new philosophy and a new philosopher who tried to blend Indian idealism and Western humanism. As we know, there is a conflict between Indian temper of life and Western temper of life. As Rudyard Kipling once said that east is east, west, and west is west, and both shall twain never met. And this is the point where we see that Western perspectives are different, Indian perspectives are different. And we see that Indian perspectives are more religious and Western perspectives are more scientific. So, Western perspective uh, started a movement against the religion that is known as humanism. And we do not find a trace of humanism, uh, a modern type of humanism in Indian tradition. So I tried to search that is there any philosopher who tried to blend, who tried to make a philosophy to make a bridge between Indian philosophy and Western philosophy. So I found one, and he is Dr. Nand Kishore Devraj, and his philosophy is known as uh, creative humanism. So there is, yes, this is the introduction of my paper. Firstly, I would like to say that what is humanism? Humanism has many facets from a Renaissance movement to philosophical discourse. We know that humanism started from uh, Italian Renaissance against the church, against the religious dominance. And generally, we understand that humanism stands for human well being without accepting the God or any transcendental category. Actually, it is in developed form anti-religious because many philosophers in medieval era they were burnt by church. It is fact, like Bruno and many philosophers. Now, question is, can we propound a theory that embodies both the ideals of religious life and attributes of scientific humanism? We see that in Western humanism, there is no concept of religion or God. There is no space for them. But we find that in India, there is a humanism like we find the humanism of Mahatma Gandhi, humanism of Swami Vivekananda, humanism of Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. But there is a space for God and religion. So can we blend both of them? So Dr. Nand Kishore Devraj, who died 1999, attempted to blend both scientific humanism and religiosity through his philosophy, that is creative humanism. The meaning of humanism. What is the meaning of creative humanism? Creative humanism is a type of man-centered philosophy which takes creativity to be dominant and most important characteristic of the human being. It is also known as qualitative humanism because it emphasizes on the qualitative aspects of human being. Actually, man-centered signifies two things. First, the proper object of philosophical inquiry is man himself. Man is his capacity as the bearer and creator of values. Actually, in 19th century, we saw in philosophy discourse refutation of metaphysics by many philosophers like Russell, uh, Ayer, like Moore, they refuted the idealism, they refuted the idea of metaphysics. Especially, we find the refutation of metaphysics in postmodernism. And the second point is to exclude superhuman reference from man's view of universe. It means that there is nothing beyond the man's experience. There is nothing beyond the man's understanding. And the first is the man is the creator and bearer of the values. It means there is no metaphysics, there is only axiology. Man, what can man do? They can only pursue their values. And what is creativity? Creativity in all its form implies a sense of freedom and the capability to change, modify, and remold the given situation, object, or material in the light of one's preference. Actually, according to Devraj, Professor Devraj, man's creative nature expresses itself in the four principal forms. First one is man expresses his creativity by disturbing the natural order of physical objects and process and rearranging them in ways that serve his interest, utilitarian, and aesthetic. Second is man views his environment as a meaningful order and responds similarly to different objects and differently to same objects on different occasions. Third is man is constantly seeking to extend the scope of his responsiveness to an ever widening circle of reality. And 4.4 creativity is man's creative nature is clearly reflected in his manifold imaginative construction expressed in symbols. Actually, only humans are capable to express his creativity through symbols. Actually, even animals have some creativity, but they cannot express their creativity through symbols. Like uh, uh, we have a sign for God, like a cross. We we have a sign for crossing, zebra crossing, red light. We have many signs. That what is that? These are the symbols. So man creative is the most important of man's creativity, that they can express their creativity through symbols. Now I would like to go further. Exposition of creative humanism. That is, civilization and culture are also the outcome of the creativeness of man. The first leads to change his environment, physical as well as social. The other is directed to project and realize ideal image of his own self. Civilization is related with the utilitarian things, and culture is not related to utility, but it is necessary for man's inner life. It makes man's life meaningful. Actually, there is a difference between civilization and culture. So, what is civilization? Civilization related to utilitarian values, and what is culture? Culture is nothing but to culture enrich our inner life. Actually, we cannot differentiate in practical life uh, between civilization and culture, because when a farmer is farming, it is a civilization, food civilization. But when while he farming and he is singing, that is a part of culture. So there in practical life we see that civilization and culture are intervened. So we cannot differentiate in practical life. We cannot put a clear draw line between civilization and culture in practical life, but in theory we have a difference between civilization and culture. And according to Devraj, religion of creative humanism is man oriented. Actually, in the Devraja humanism there is a scope of religion, but it is not a trans category. It is not for God. It is not about God. It is not God or the trans category oriented. According to creative humanism, religion is man's response to the totality of meaning involved in the possibilities of his finite existence. It is a device to adjust to that totality in a manner that would make life bearable and make life possible. So we can see that in Devraja philosophy, in Devraja's religion, uh, religion has a scope within the man's limit, not the beyond the man's limit, like mysticism, like something trans experience. There is no scope for uh, that thing in creative humanism. And there is the conclusion. These are the concluding remarks of my paper. Man is a value pursuing animal with creativity. Yes, definitely, man is a animal, but with value pursuing with creativity. Second one is creative humanism. Special aim and purpose is to promote man's critical self-awareness. It is more important for philosophy or every discourse. Man's critical self-awareness in respect of his pursuit of qualitative excellence in knowledge, aesthetic perception, and moral action. So we can critical about our moral action, we can critical about our aesthetic sense, we can critical about our knowledge. So we can differentiate between what is the dogma, what is the knowledge, what is the belief, what is the knowledge. So that is critical self-awareness is very important. And third remarks is creative humanism is confluence of Indian spiritualism and Western humanism. Actually, Indian spiritualism, you find that there is a many ideals like unconditional compassion, unconditional friendship, unconditional love. So these are the ideals of Indian spiritualism. Every school of philosophy talk about these things, and creative humanism has the ideal of Indian spiritualism like a saintliness and unconditional compassion with the structure of Western humanism. They accept the actually Devraj accepts the structure of Western humanism and put the soul of Indian spiritualism in that structure, like unconditional compassion or Gita's sthit praga, the conception of sthit praga, and Mahayan's conception of bodhisattva. And here religion consists within human experience, not transhuman experience. Even Devraj accepts intuition. In religion we accept that there is a intuition, a special kind of knowledge between a person and a god. Devraj accepts intuition as an extension of perception, not it is the trance of perception. It is just an extension of our perception. So this was my paper because I was instructed to limit my paper within 7 minutes. So thank you all of you who listen me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And big hand to Dr. Amit Kumar for such a wonderful presentation in this place. Thank you very much. And we would like to appreciate Dr. Amit Kumar for such a wonderful presentation. And we will close with you. Thank you.
And if you have any query and question, you can put it to me.
Sure.
Any of one.